Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Paul, hopefully you're having an amazing day. I want to give you guys an update concerning the GPU situation for both Nvidia and AMD. We'll start things out with Nvidia because it's going to be the faster of the two companies to go through, but basically we still have a game of cat and mouse being played between AMD and Nvidia, and this time Nvidia are the ones that are deciding to delay something, specifically in this case the RTX 5070. Now initially this GPU was going to be launching in February, but now it's going to be on store shelves some point in March, most likely the early portion, according to Zed Wang or Mega Size GPU on Twitter. Now, obviously, the whole purpose of them doing this is because RDNA 4 is going to be launching again in March period. So at this point, I think Nvidia want to be the ones that can play reactionary. Now, the MSRP of the RTX 5070 vanilla is $549 US, which is not too terrible. However, that's with a couple of caveats. The first caveat is MSRPs and graphics cards are not best friends at this point. We've seen what's happening with the RTX 5080 and the 5090 because of the shortage situation. And it's also going to be very interesting to see whether there's any changes regarding this MSRP when RDNA 4 is finally announced. Now, speaking of RDNA 4, let's talk about yet more rumours concerning the RTX 9070 and 9070 XT. So first of all, Chip Hell has yet another thread that has popped up, and this is from Zhang Zonghao. Hopefully I have pronounced that correctly. Basically speaking, later on this year, we're going to see AMD actually launch the 9070 XT with 32GB of memory. Now, this is not necessarily going to be a variant that's possibly going to be too exciting for gamers. Then again, 32GB could still be interesting from a gaming perspective, but allegedly it seems that it's going to be aimed at folks who want a GPU for AI. Now, the bus configuration is still going to be 16GB, so probably it's going to be some type of clamshell configuration, but there's no details exactly regarding that at the moment. And the amount of workgroup processors, that type of stuff is all going to remain the same. Now, this GPU does seem to be aiming to launch by the end of Q2 or possibly early in the second half of the year. There is no pricing information, but it's probably going to be significantly more expensive than the base model cards. Now, the launch of this card does seem indeed to be the 20th, so just over a week from now as of the time that I'm recording this video, with reviews going live late this month, the 27th, at least according to threads that have been floating around on Chip Hell. So the launch, anyway, does appear to be early March. Speaking about pricing, and I just want to go over this real quick, because there is yet another leak concerning the prices. I want to thank Thomas on Twitter for actually spotting this initially, and basically speaking, there is a Canadian retailer that has several GPUs available for, well, pre-order. So the retailer in question is Canada Computers, and you can see the prices on screen. Now, there are a couple of things to bear in mind. The first of which is these are in Canadian dollars. So obviously, because they're in Canadian dollars, you need to do exchanges for your regional equivalent. The second point is that, well, Canada Computers does not include VAT or GST in its prices, so you do need to take that into consideration. This means that, for example, we're looking at the 9070 being around $600 US, and obviously that would mean that the higher end variant, the 9070 XT, is going to be about $700 US. Now, this is more expensive than a lot of the leaks and a lot of the other rumors that have been floating around, which put these GPUs at around $100 or more, actually in some cases cheaper than this. Now, there are several things to take into account here. Now, allegedly, the prices of the cheaper prices that we've been seeing have been floating around since late December, so it is possible that AMD have made some decisions simply because of how the RTX 50 cards have been perceived in the marketplace. With that said, it is also possible that these prices are simply placeholder prices because it is a retailer. Quite frankly, like I've said in 100 videos at this point, when it comes to prices, it's very difficult to know which is true. You could have a situation where AMD have since updated the prices, and therefore these are the more accurate ones. It's possible that these are just placeholder prices and the leaks are the more accurate ones, or it's very possible that none of this information is correct, be it the leaks, because maybe they're completely outdated, and this is also placeholder prices, so AMD could charge you a pack of chewing gum. I am very curious though in the comments below. Let me know what you think in terms of, let's say that these cards are this price or maybe $100 cheaper. Do you think that AMD have a compelling product? Because I have to say, guys, if the rumours in terms of the performance of these cards is roughly accurate, I can see that these cards will actually sell extremely well. The problem, I think, is that both AMD and Nvidia, in some ways, have pretty much the same problem. And that is that while there are some obvious big improvements in, like, let's say the RTX 5090 in some ways over its predecessor, for example, the amount of VRAM or what have you, if you really look at it in from a cold hard light of day perspective, the improvement in performance is not going to be absolutely massive. So for example, let's say you've got like a 7900 XT, are you really going to want to jump onto an RDNA 4 based card? Probably not. With that said, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.